Hello, welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one I call it Stop Being What You Are Not. What do I mean by that? Right now, are you not being? Are you not being right now? Don't you feel that you are? It's aliveness, right? That is what you are always. Now, what do you think you are? The answer usually is, I am a person, I am man, female, I am happy, unhappy, I am good looking or I'm ugly, I am worthy, unworthy. You see, I am all these different labels that we place on ourselves, overshadowing the fact that I am. You see? And all of these are thoughts. Aren't they? Whatever you tell me that you are is a thought. Because it's a description, it's a label. But what is underneath? What remains when all these labels are not there? When the label good looking or ugly is not there? When the label worthy or unworthy is not there? When the label man or woman is not there? See? What is left? What is left right there? What I am. You see? When I say stop being what you're not, is stop believing anything you think, any label. Because the fact is, with or without the label, that you are. And that'll never change. That is permanent. You see? Now you may say, yeah, but this is so difficult. No, it's not difficult. It's very simple. What happens is that you have to remember, you spend your whole life believing you're thinking. Well, give yourself a break. Some people may be ready right now, and with this, with just reminding them of that, it'll be enough. But for the most part, it seems to take a while before I can really rest in the I amness, because the conditioning is so strong. And the conditioning is what we need for our seeming survival of the belief, not even of the species, but of the belief of who I think I am. So it may seem that it takes some time before I can rest in the I amness, in the I am that I am. Because our sense of identity is derived from our thoughts. And we work so hard to develop that sense of identity. And we use the world itself around, the world at large, the community, the friends, family, everything and everyone to support that sense of being, that idea that I think I am. And some of us are really proud of that. They're very proud of their accomplishments. They don't want to let go of those accomplishments. Are you saying that I worked so hard to become this and now that is not what I am? What I'm saying is that if you stop being who you think you are, if you let go of all of that, then the suffering dissipates. That's what I mean. I'm not saying you will not stop being whatever you work to become. If you study to become an engineer, you study to become an astronaut, you study to become a musician, that doesn't mean that you will not be able to play your music or excel in your profession or whatever. No, you can still do that. That is not going to change. But the only thing is you will stop believing the label, and then you don't take personal anything. You won't take personal if somebody says you're a bad musician or a good musician. Who cares? I just play because it's something that happens through the instrument. I enjoy it. But that's not who I am. People in show business, you see it all the time. They end up depressed because they thought that they were their identity. I am an actor, I am a singer, and then when they don't call them anymore, or they no longer can sing, then they become depressed, and who I am, they get lost. Lost in thinking. Because the thought is the one that says you're unworthy, Lucas, nobody's calling you, you're not even worthy anymore. Or people who retire, they wonder why they end up depressed, because they think that their sense of identity is being stripped away. But in reality, that sense of identity was a false sense of identity always. But when you know who you are, then you are flowing with the river of life. You work when you're supposed to work. When there's no time for work, there's no time for work. When you're not supposed to work and retire, you retire, but you're happy. You're not happy because you retired. You see, this is very interesting. Some people become depressed because they're retired and they cannot do what they, society doesn't want them to do anymore. If I'm a pilot, I cannot fly an airplane anymore because I'm X years of age, now I'm depressed. And then you got people who pursue they are so tired or sick of their work, that when they retire, they think that this is what they've been looking for their whole life, but now the times that they have remaining for that supposedly retirement, they feel that their good years, they've been, thrown away as a consequence of just working all the time. But that's just our thoughts. That's not true. These are just thoughts, means nothing. When you rest in the I amness, in the I am that I am, you're happy. You're at peace. Doing whatever you do or not doing whatever you don't do, it does not matter. When I'm suggesting stop being what you're not, I'm simply saying stop believing your thoughts. That's all I'm saying. You see? So you can begin to experience the peace, the joy that is lasting, that is ever present, that never changes. Yeah, the moods may change. Happiness, happiness when it comes to pleasure. Most people associate happiness with pleasure, but pleasure and pain is a constant change. Life is a constant change, but you remain as you are, and that is the peace that passes all understanding, the everlasting happiness which you are. And that's the invitation with these videos. These videos are not about to achieving anything or accomplishing anything, not even changing anything. It's about noticing how we're so identified with the content of the mind, we believe so much in the content of the mind that we overlook the happiness, the peace, the joy, the love that we're seeking. Because the seeking is a story. The story of a me that supposedly is going to eventually become something or transform into something or whatever. But that's just more thoughts, more thinking. Overlooking that I am. You see? Right now you are. You can never not be. That's impossible. You can convince yourself that you're something or someone, and of course that changes. What is born has to pass away, but what you are is eternal. And again, this is not esoteric. This is not something completely out of reach. How could it be out of reach? It's what you are. Maybe all these ideas of the things that I want may be out of reach, but who you are is never out of reach. You always are. The problem is we're looking out there instead of just resting. And living life from this perspective doesn't mean you will stop doing whatever you're doing and you will not know how to function. No, you'll function the same way you did before. What happened is before you were functioning thinking that you were doing it. Now you see that functioning happens through you because you're not living life. Life is living you. Because you are life. The thoughts will tell you you're not life. The thoughts will say, no, I am not life. I am this human being. I'm in charge. Well, and the question that I always ask, if you think you're so in charge of your life, are you breathing? Are you choosing to breathe? Is that something you're in charge of? Because when you go to bed at night and you fall asleep, when you are not, then who's in charge of the breathing? When you are no longer conscious, then the breathing should stop, right? But you're breathing all the time. Within the context of the illusion, of course. Are you making your heart beat? Are you the one choosing that? Come on, if you're in charge of your life, come on, you should be in charge of that as well. You see, very conveniently the mind says, okay, I'm in charge of some of the things, but I'm not in charge of the 99% of the things that are needed for this body to be, you see? But then he takes credit for this little part of it and says, I'm in charge. Are you in charge of your organs functioning? Are you? And let's go to the obvious that is being overlooked. Are you in charge of your thoughts? Meaning, are you the one who knows what is the next thought you're going to have? Tell me. I mean, if you really know what thoughts if you're in charge of your thoughts, you should know what is the next thought you're going to have so you can act accordingly. And yet, thoughts appear. They appear in you as that. And this is very obvious. Right now, I'm not asking you to do anything other than to look. That's it. Notice. You see? Notice how thoughts appear. But if you allow them to be, instead of trying to hang on to them because you need them to hold on to a sense of identity, if you allow them to be, you notice that they also will be gone. Same thing with feelings, sensations, circumstances. Now you feel that you're flowing with life rather than resisting it. Because if you resist life, it's not that you're going to control it. It's that you're going to suffer. That's all. Put this to the test. You think you control your life? Come on, go ahead and try to control it. And tell me how well you're done. See? I don't even know what is the next syllable is going to come out of this mouth. I don't even know if my next breath is going to be there. I have no clue what's going to happen today in the day of this seeming character. And it's okay, I don't need to know. Because life is doing it all. And I am life. You are life. I am that. You are that. And life, that, it's all that there is. Well, this is the inspiration that came through this instrument. Hope you enjoy it. And as always, may peace permeate the mind so that love can be extended.